Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien.
Muy bien, everybody. Thank you for joining us on another exciting and spicy episode of CU Spotlight. I'm your host, Jonathan Taylor, with Bank Social. My friends call me JT, and Bank Social is the sponsor for the podcast here at Bits Bytes GAC 2026 at the Cuba Libre, hence the music. Other sponsors are Capstone Strategic, Pure IT, NCU ISAL, Defense Storm and Connective. And with me is one of my very good friends in the space. She is one of the data queens, Anne Legg of Thrive. Anne, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much.
So good to see you again.
I'm so delighted to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course, always and forever. So, first question, how many GACs is this for you?
You know what? I was just thinking about that. Okay, so let's give people just a little context. I have been in this space for 34 years.
This was before the child labor laws were enacted.
Correct. Thank you.
Okay.
I will take that. And I remember joining GAC when we had just gone through 1151. And so I was not there at GAC on 1151, but the impact of why do we need to have a GAC? Why do we need to have advocacy? Why telling our story is so absolutely tantamount and pivotal.
Interesting.
So it was interesting because it hasn't been a consistent coming in and always saying I come to GAC every year, and it's been in a lot of different phases too.
Yeah.
So it's been neat.
So so GAC was happening, but they were debating whether or not to do it, or you were around when they hadn't even had it yet?
No, they had it, but
Okay.
it wasn't. It was 1151 that made everybody realize that advocacy is so crucial to our success, and so that's when I think. Again, I do not have the data to support this, but it would be a wonderful exercise to say, did before 1151 was GAC such a thing?
Interesting. So for the listeners, just quick level set. What is Thrive? How do you guys help credit unions thrive, no pun intended, and survive?
Absolutely. So what Thrive does is we look at credit unions and say, oh my goodness, you need to have a growth strategy. But we need to do it in ways that you can really have evidence around it. So we help credit unions take the data they already have, turn it into growth strategies with the people that they already have and the technology they already have. And we do it in 90 days or less. 90
days or less?
Oh, yeah.
Oof. So saying the quiet part out loud, because I know a little bit about data, having done what I've done in my space. Isn't the hard part the cleanliness of it and the trusting of the data?
So you do bring up a really good point about access. And that's, I think, when credit unions say, I want to do something with their data, there are two things they are actually saying is, I need more insight. And I'm saying I need to get access to things I do not have access to. So to your point, the data lives in some cases between 60 and 100 different systems.
Gross.
Right. So how do I know which one to pull? I'm making a dinner and I can't use all 60 to 100 different items. I usually am going to do 5, or if you're cooking with me.
When
5.
I cook, I try. I try to use all of them. But anyways.
Yeah, but that's because you make really dirty dishes. I'm kidding.
No, I do.
Yes.
No, I do.
But pun intended, because when we have to look at it, we have to say, well, we really can only focus on so many things. So where do we pull it from, and how do we choose? And that choosing part is very important to a credit union to say, it's about what is the problem I have right now.
Right.
And one of the things that I really see as a huge, beautiful problem for credit unions is, oh my gosh, how do I measure that what I do has impact to the member? How do I measure that we are actually people helping people?
So hum a few more bars of that. What are some examples that you have helped credit unions do that?
Absolutely. So let's talk about something really easy. Our call center. Call centers are wonderful. We worked with a call center that said we might possibly have the world's perhaps not best NPS.
Okay. NPS for the listeners.
It is your Net Promoter Score. It's a way that you can understand how satisfied and how loyal is my membership.
Okay.
And so if you're looking at that and you're looking at the output and the experience in your call center, then you say, oh my goodness, that's not good if this is my core branch that people are using. So, okay, well, what's the data problem,
Right.
right? Okay, that sounds like a training problem. That sounds like a couple different things.
Sure.
So we got a bunch of cross-functional people in the room. So think about now it's call center, it's marketing, it's finance, it's operations, it's retail. And we all say, but what do you guys think is the core problem? And they say, you know what? It's because the whole call center, the entire queue is being stuffed with people that just want to get their balance or do a balance transfer. So we go and grab the data to validate that. Step one. Guess what? It wasn't in the top 5 of top transactions. It wasn't in the top 10.
Really?
Number 1 was disputes. Now, I'm a member, and I don't use the word dispute. I have some boo-boo on my card. I have a thing I don't recognize. I have a boo-boo, right? It's a technical word. So now I go, oh, my goodness, I need to call my credit card issuer, which is my credit union, and the first thing I'm going to do is call whatever number I can get to on the website. That's taking me straight to the call center. Now the poor call center has to take somebody who's quite frustrated and doesn't use the word dispute to understand that it's a dispute, and then have to do possibly 1, 2, or 3 handoffs to cards.
Gross.
Right. So we looked at that and realized we had the journey clearly on the website, how we navigate that. We have the journey on the phone system. And I said to the credit union, hey, how long is this going to take you to solve this? With what you have right now, and no new staff, no new technology. And they said, oh, well, we want to make it a priority, but it's going to be maybe 3 to 6 months. When you take data and you move quickly on it and you use agile methodology, you get that stuff done in 6 weeks.
Yeah. Wow. That's huge. That's absolutely huge. So you had said something before the podcast that I thought was really exciting. So, and you and I have worked together. You and I have seen each other through different seasons, I would say. But always we've shared this love of data.
Yes.
Because it's about impacts, it's about insights, it's about where to go next.
Absolutely.
And so many things. And I was having a conversation with Credit Union today, and they were going, well, our CEO just doesn't know if this is a problem. And my first question was, have you looked? Right? You've got to first look.
Right.
And where does that live? How do we get it? Can we get it? Because sometimes another saying the quiet part out loud, a lot of our ecosystem partners will keep some of that locked up for the special kids, which I think is bullshit. And, so there are challenges. There's just 100%. Challenges to get it, right?
100%.
So talk about your new initiative.
Absolutely.
Talk about what you're doing to not just solve for that, but to address a bigger issue.
Yeah, so let's take for a minute. Let's kind of not think about the data per se, but let's think about, what's actually happening in credit unions. And one of the things that when we think about a credit union, wherever you are, you may go, I know I got a great price on a loan. I know I got this, but I don't really know necessarily how that credit union helps its community. And credit unions were started to serve a community. That's what's called a charter, and it's a beautiful, magical thing. And
right.
It's lovely. So let's go back and go, how would I measure that credit union helping its member, helping its employees, and helping the community it serves? Super hard. So when I think about that, it was a brain-stretching exercise. And then I thought, well, if this is a math problem, then you say, well, what would be lost if it was gone? If credit unions disappeared, what would go away? So the challenge we have and the opportunity we have is we can look at that and go, you know what? There will be people who cannot get access to transportation. There'll be people who can't get access to shelter. That does not mean mortgages. That means housing, right? However that may be. There are going to be people who may not have access to that $400 emergency funds that they need.
Right.
There are people who know that there's debt, but don't know how to manage it. We all need debt. I mean, unless somebody's got some really cool funds coming somewhere, but we all have debt. There are people out there that really have no idea how to understand what a credit score is. What we are absolutely talking about and what would be lost if credit unions disappeared is financial confidence, which is resilience. Everything I just talked about is something that a credit union already has the data to do that. They already have this data, and that data is your ACH. It is your spend and is your competition. So how the heck do I go about and measure it? And that's great, Anne, you kind of nerded on me, and I really am not sure where I'm going. Let me explain. You need knowledge, you need to educate, you need to understand and pull this information. You need to look at that and go, oh my gosh, I see it now. Then you have to choose what you're going to work on. All right? We have to demonstrate that this is going to work.
Got it. So where, how many credit unions are you working with now?
We have worked with over 600 credit union leaders.
600.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And Thrive has been
10 years.
10 years. That's
We
amazing.
had a nice little blip in the middle where we ended up having some fun with what is now True Stage. But yes, we've been an active organization for 10 years.
I love that. If folks wanted to hear more, where would they go?
They would go and they would visit the website, which is Anne Legg, and let me spell that for everybody because there's a lot in there. Anne, Legg, and then the word thrive.com. But you can find a ton, constantly publishing all sorts of goodies in LinkedIn, which is, of course, Anne Legg at LinkedIn.
I will say this from my own experience, having worked with you, because I reached out to you once upon a time with one of our QSO projects and saw there was just an ocean of data that would be, created. And I was like, oh my God, we need somebody that can help us from a direction standpoint. One of the first things that we did as we were trying to build this thing out. Do you remember what you said to me when I first called you?
Mm-mm.
You said what you need to hyper focus on, and I'm going to challenge you with this, is you need to get to the root problem that you're going to solve.
100%.
It can't be three.
Mm-mm.
What's the one root thing? And you scrambled my brain with that. And God, that was hard to sit there and boil it all. Because I could do this and you can do, and I think that that's a really good thing to say to everybody because we overcomplicate, I think, because we see of all the possibilities when it comes to all the things we want to do, right? And we feel we have to do. But if you don't boil the ocean down to that one root thing that you are, what's the main problem you're solving, then you don't have that cornerstone. You don't have that linchpin to make sure. I mean, that's the litmus test, right? To be able to, anything else you're doing, you ask it, does it tie back to whatever that root was, right?
100%. And let's really be focused on this. There's so much that you can do with data, but it's a phased approach. It's like walking into a candy store and saying, I want to eat it all.
Yeah.
You're going to have an upset tummy. It's not going to work.
Why are you looking at me like you know that that's what I do?
Because I know you have done that. I wasn't with you, but I know you do that. But also then saying, okay, if I can only have one thing, what's the one thing I'm going to have now? And then what's going to be my list of the stuff I'm going to have later.
I love it. And you're the best. What can I say? You're one of my favorites.
Thank you.
Thrive.
Thank you.
And you said it's thrive.com.
Right. It's thrive.com. So it's Anne Legg. It's all one word. It's my name, Anne Legg, and Anne with an E.
Okay.
Thrive.com.
Love it.
Cool.
Folks, this has been another amazing podcast here at the Bits and Bytes at GAC 2026. I know you're thinking about somebody right now who needs to hear this. Spread the word. I am Jonathan Taylor, JT, CU Spotlight. Thank you to Bank Social. Thank you to everybody that has made this incredible event possible. And we will see you next time. Take care.